Howdy folks, my name is Richie Procopio, aka Bog Otter, and welcome to my fourth video edition of the Flameseeker Chronicles for Massively.com. Today I'm going to be talking about weapon skins and armor skins in Guild Wars 2. Now, these are probably the most popular items, and I think that ArenaNet could never match the insatiable appetite of the player base when it comes to pumping out new skins and weapons and new skins and armor for the players of Guild Wars 2. But it's interesting that every patch that comes out that has these items always garners some sort of feedback from the fan base, usually on the negative side when it comes to how they choose to distribute said items. So I thought oftentimes that the feedback is that they don't like that the fact that a lot of the items seem to come out of these random, as a rare chance from these random like loot boxes, right? And a lot of times the loot boxes are tied to the gem store. So the complaints come that they're just trying to make money off it, which it's true, they are trying to make money off the gem store, but I think a lot of the feedback just stems from the fact that players maybe have short-term memories or haven't been following historically everything that ArenaNet's done when it comes to skins for the characters, and the reputation right now is, everything just comes in the form of these random rare drops. So I thought it would be interesting for this edition of the Flameseeker Chronicles to go back to the beginning, go back to when Guild Wars 2 launched last August, and kind of go like patch by patch, what new skins have they added to the game, and how did they present them? Did they allow players to purchase them directly from the gem store? Was it a rare chance at a loot box from the gem store? Was it a rare chance from a drop in game, etc., etc.? So let's do that. And just to clarify, I'm talking about weapons and armor skins that are combat in nature. They've added a lot of town clothing and different things like that for the most part, I have another video on my YouTube channel where I talk in depth about town clothing, but this one's going to focus on items that can be used in combat. All right, so let's talk about the launch of Guild Wars 2. Obviously, there's tons of sets and weapons and armor skins in the game that you can earn just by playing the game. And we're not going to go through all of them, but the crafting sets and the dungeon sets and all that kind of stuff. But let's talk at launch. There was 3 sets of armor: the Profane, the Primeval, and the Crichton armor sets, one for light, medium, and heavy, that were available on the gem store for direct purchase. 500 gems, you can have the set of your choice, and I think for the most part people enjoyed having that choice, and they thought it was going to be something that we see very frequently, because Guild Wars 1 you had different sets, a new skin for your combat armor or whatever. They didn't have really town clothes versus combat armor per se, but we kind of expected this to come more often, and as we'll see as we go through this history, we'll be waiting a long time before we see a direct purchase armor set. So it was cool that they had it. Personally, I didn't love the fact that it was a consumable item, right? You click it, you attach it to one piece, and there you go. You can use transmutation stones to, keep that look and attach it to new items. But I kind of prefer the approach of how the Hall of Monuments works, where you just unlock those skins on a vendor and can always just go and get a copy of that the heritage items that they have on the Hall of Monuments vendor. You can get that copy over and over and over again. But that's neither here nor there. So that's how the game launched. And our first major update came in October, right? For the Shadow of the Mad King. That's the Halloween event. Okay, and they introduced a couple different weapon skins during that event. The temporary weapon skins can be bought with candy corn, right? So they had the Crossing, the Mad Moon, and Arachnophobia skins, and you can actually just get a temporary version of those by spending some of the in-game, candy currency. You could also create a permanent version of that through crafting. That took a ton of mats to create, right? I think at the time, it was way over 100 gold, maybe even close to 200 gold to kind of craft one of these permanently. But there were also a rare chance to get different weapons and shoulder skins out of the Black Lion chests. You could also use some of the more common items that you got out of a Black Lion chest to create a Mad King chest in Mystic Forge. That was their way of kind of, getting rid of some of the surplus Mystic tonics and boosters and different things like that. And then the Mad King chest had a rare chance of dropping those weapons and shoulder skins as well. But for the most part, it was pretty difficult to get these skins, and like I said, it was Black Lion, very rare chance. kind of put a little bit of bad taste in some people's mouths, but there you go. Lost Shores came. That's November patch. We've got new weapon skins, shoulder skins, and breathing masks that come out of consortium chests. And you can buy these directly from the gem store. So again, a rare chance to get some of these weapons and stuff like that. They had stuff like the Shark's Tooth axe, Shark's Tooth sword, some totem shield skins, different things like that. But at the same time, and a lot of people forget this, they also added some more in-game skins, right? The fractal weapons. Now, the fractal weapons are a very rare chance to drop from playing any level 20 or greater difficulty level of the Fractal of the Mist dungeon. So that is another weapon set that they did add to the game. It is very hard to get. I know people that have farmed high-level fractals forever and only gotten like 1 or 2 weapon skins over the entire course of the time in there. But they did add them, so I wanted to put them in there for completeness. So far, we've gotten a direct buy from the gem store, right? We've gotten a combination of rare chance from a Black Lion chest, and also some ability to kind of spend a lot of mats to create some rare skins. And then November, we've got play a really hard, aspect of the instance for a rare chance for a drop, or buy more of these random loot boxes. Okay, so Wintersday comes. This is the December patch. They put in listening to feedback. I think this was a direct influence from the feedback players were giving. They just put a whole slew of winter-themed weapons on the gem store for direct purchase. So you could purchase, any of these weapons just by spending gems. You didn't have to wait for a rare chance from a drop or anything like that. The downside was many people thought that the winter weapon sets, they didn't look great. They kind of had a wooden, holly, and even little gingerbread cookie-ish kind of look to it. So while I think players really did want some direct buy options for these skins, these weren't the skins they were looking for. You could also, there were other more toy type weapons that you could get by spending, the ugly socks and the ugly sweaters and different things that you can get just by doing the event. So there were skins that you can get just by playing the game as well. So this was I think this was something that they just wanted to respond to direct feedback. They didn't put anything kind of random in there. It wasn't necessarily something you had to kind of just spend a whole lot of money on these random rare chances for. They said, hey, you can earn these in game, not too hard, and you can buy these directly if you want them. So that was Wintersday. And then we kind of we had the January and February patches, which didn't add any new skins, unless I'm totally remembering that incorrectly. Those were the introduction of the living story, but a lot of features were added to the game, guild missions and different things like that. So we kind of had a lull, the dark ages of new weapon skins and armor skins. And then we come to March. Now, March comes with the fused weapons, right? March patch had the fused weapon skins, which were very cool looking, very volcanic, molten, fiery weapon skins. But they were a very rare chance from the Black Lion chests. Okay, so we're back to, random chance from store-bought gem store items. But at the same time, they also introduced the guild commendation weapons. Okay, so that's a whole new set of weapons that you can get by doing the guild missions and earning your guild commendations. So again, an in-game way to acquire some new weapon skins. So they did that. It's kind of like a balance, right? There's the random gambling chance and a way you can earn it in-game. In April, okay, we got new things. Brahmin Rock's weapon sets, right, including the quiver and what was that? That he had a shield and a mace and a bow. Those Brahmin Rock's weapons were for direct purchase from the gem store. You could just buy them directly, no random chance. And you also got a super weapon box launched. And the super weapon skins were a way. There was 2 ways to get them. You can actually just play the super adventure box over and over and over again and collect the bauble bubbles and then buy the weapon skins that you wanted. Or there was a rare chance from completing one of those instances and looting a boss chest. And those you could actually sell on the trading post and stuff like that. So there were 2 ways then. So again, it's important to point out patches like April. Like the March patch had a very rare drop from a Black Lion chest thing, but then April comes back and you have direct purchase and getting weapon skins by playing the game. So they do switch it up quite a bit. May, sclerite weapons, South Sun supply crates, all right? So you get these from, you can buy South Sun supply crates directly from the gem store, or they actually drop from creatures during the event in South Sun. Now, the interesting thing about this is they rarely drop from the creatures during South Sun, and they also had a rare chance of giving the Sclerite weapon ticket once you open it. So it's kind of like a double rare chance, but you did have a way of getting them without actually spending the gem store money. But if you just wanted to, try your luck and show some support for ArenaNet, you could buy some more of these South Sun supply crates and have a chance maybe of getting these Sclerite weapons. They seem to have changed this up in June a little bit. Okay, June, the one that's going on now for the Dragon Bash, the Dragon's Jade weapons. It's a similar type thing. The Dragon coffers can drop off of creatures, and you can also buy rich Dragon coffers on the gem store for a chance at these Dragon Jade weapon tickets. Now, the difference here is the Dragon coffers have a small chance for these tickets to drop, but they drop from creatures everywhere, and they constantly drop. South Sun supply crates from the May patch, they were very rare. I mean, I think I maybe got 2 of them the entire month off of random creatures. Dragon coffers, they drop all the time. Now, the rich Dragon coffers, which you buy, directly from the gem store, they still have a fairly rare chance of dropping the weapon skins, but it's a greater chance than the Dragon coffers. I kind of like how they did it in this way, in for this patch a bit more, because I like the fact that the Dragon coffers drop all the time. It's fun to constantly, get these things and have a chance to get them. They also drop so often that you can buy them from the trading post for so cheap, right? They're a couple silver now. You can buy a stack of 250 of them for a couple gold and just click through them and hope you get the weapon tickets that you want. So that's kind of like, again, they took what they did in May and they tweaked a little bit for June to see how that would work out. And then I'll end with the patch Sky Pirates of Tyria, which should be launching today. They are putting in the Aether Blade armor skins to the direct purchase from the gem store. Not a random chance. There's a new light, medium, and heavy armor set. They look really super cool, and they will be a direct purchase from the gem store. This is the first full armor set for all 3 types since the launch of the game that's going to be there. So I expect this to be very popular. Okay, so now we've gone through the history, and let's just talk for a few minutes of what I think about it, and you give me your thoughts and feedback about it as well. First of all, I think that it paints a clear picture that they are not going to just do things just one way. They're not going to just say, all right, from now on, all weapon skins are just going to be a direct purchase from the gem store. They're going to constantly change things and tweak things. They're going to cater to different types of players. There's players that will never spend any money on the gem store. There are players that have no problem spending money from the gem store if they feel like they can purchase something direct. There's others who really like that gambling kind of environment because it creates rarity, right? The Sclerite weapons from, I haven't seen anyone really walking around with those, except for every once in a while I'll catch one, like the Great Sword, and it'll have like an eye dripping blood from it, and I'll be like, oh yeah, that was the Sclerite weapon. It creates that rarity. It makes them really special. So there's some players that want to really, dump some money into it and have that item that nobody else has. So there's different types of players, and ArenaNet changing things up is a good way for them to make money off of different player base, right? They don't have a subscription fee. They have to sustain themselves through the gem store. And yes, it might make you angry when they do things that don't fit your player style, but just realize that over time, they put in lots of different ways for you to acquire things. The only time that it's kind of upsetting is if there's a set that you particularly like, that you really want for your character, and it doesn't fit the type of player you are. But there are in-game skins being added that you can acquire just from playing the game. There are skins that you can buy directly from the gem store, and there are, of course, these random boxes as well with very rare chances to get it. And you know what? It's going to be this way forever. So I guess the point of this, the public service announcement here, is they do things differently. It's not all a random chance, and I look forward to seeing what they come out with. The Aether Blade armor skins that are coming out today, I think they're going to be a big hit with the players. I really hope that they're able to more quickly pump out these combat armor skins. I think that they default to town clothing a lot on the gem store because they don't have to make a light, medium, and a heavy set, right, for every single race and every single gender, and kind of change how it looks. I think that if they just say, hey, we're going to put out a hoodie and it's going to be the same for all characters. They just need to make sure it looks good on each race and gender, not have to worry about, okay, is it a light or medium or a heavy armor set? And I think that's where their snag is and why we don't see a lot of combat armors. I hope that changes over time and that they're able to kind of figure out a way to more speedily hand those kind of things out, or at least offer opportunities for them, because I think it's important to the player base. Yeah, that's going to wrap things up. Let me know what you think. Was it surprising to kind of hear the history of how the weapons and armor have been released? Did you expect it more to be, a lot of it to be, more random box, or this is kind of how you remember it? What do you think? Which style of purchaser are you? Are you the one that wants to earn these armors and weapons in game only? Do you like the random loot boxes? Do you like direct purchases? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to stay tuned in to massively.com for all of your MMO news, and I'll catch you next time. I hope everybody has a great day. Take care.